Hi bloomers!
Hola bloomers!
Hola bloomers! First of all, we are very excited to announce a new series that's going to start on our channel of videos that are going to come out every once in a while called
Ian in the Kitchen.
Ian in the Kitchen!
Ian in the Kitchen.
So many people have been asking for Ian cooking videos, so we figured what more of a perfect time to do our first Ian in the Kitchen video than the very start of Latin Heritage Month!
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yay! Round of applause!
I am Latino. My mom is from Honduras, and I actually lived there for like a year and a half of my life when I moved from the UK in between Miami. And a big thing that's involved with Latin culture and heritage is cooking. My mom shows her love by, one would say, overfeeding people, overfeeding her guests. That's just her way. She's like, eat this, you're not eating, and they're offended if you don't eat, and so I have this thing with food, and so I have to like eat all of it, and that journey has been hard.
Now I always know to always show up to his mother's apartment and hungry because I have to eat everything that's on that plate.
Hungry hippos.
And I know some of you know from TikToks that I'm not much of a vegetable eater.
No! Can you have some?
No! But when Ian's mom is serving me up anything, I eat it.
Yeah. There's just nothing like mama's cooking.
Yeah.
Her whole thing is like plátanos, maduros, chilaquiles, / like arroz con pollo, like all that kind of stuff. That is a little extra for what we have in the kitchen that we're in. So I figured I would do something that is super tasty, super easy for everyone that's watching to make, and it's called picadillo. You can have it with chips, you can have it with brown rice, but again, we're a little limited in this kitchen. There is not a pot, so the only way to make rice, there is no way to make rice. Okay, a couple things that you'll need. 1, green pepper, half of a white onion, or you could use a yellow onion, a can of black beans, and a can of tomato sauce. And then you can either use like ground beef, or I like to use ground turkey because it's leaner, and I'm letting that kind of air because it was in the fridge for a very long time, and I want it to be warm. You don't want it to be too cold when it hits the pan.
Okay, so I have no business being in the kitchen or being here.
What do you
I
mean?
am going to let you...
What?
I'm gonna let you take over.
But who am I gonna talk to?
The camera.
Alright. Okay, I'm just, hopefully the trash, can you still see me? Okay, great. So picadillo is actually one of those easy things to make. I love it because if I want to feel full with food that's got like a saucy component to it, this satiates that craving, and it's not as high in calorie, especially if you're using the turkey. The most sugary part of it is the tomato sauce. And even that gets cooked down and just tastes so good. I also use a sazon seasoning, which I don't know if we have in here, but I do have like a fajita mix, which you can also switch out. So I kind of dice these green peppers, and I get these all together. I like them to be kind of thick so that when I bite, I'm getting a bite of actual green pepper. Wow, having a camera on you really sort of puts you on the spot, and then you're like, well, am I Rachel Ray? Am I Giada? Am I the Bertha Contessa? Am I Ina? Those are the same people, by the way. I'm just me. I didn't go to culinary school, but that's one of the things I will have to say I learned from my mom, my like love of cooking, because I moved to college and all of a sudden I didn't have her readily available to me. Really one of my favorite things when I was moving to New York and having new experiments in the kitchen, I would always call her and be like, Mommy, como blah, 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 blah. And I'd like go in about, how do you make this? How did you prep that? And then she would walk me through it, and that's a place of connection between me and my mom. My mom is also the queen of, they know they're good cooks, and then they still check in, they're like, is it good? As though you're going to maybe say it's not. And so you have to like give her the answer she wants. Very stressful. Because of course, her food is always gonna be tasting good. There've been a couple times she's made things that have come out a little dry. Oops, sorry mom. That's not what she's asking for. She wants to know, do you like it? Yes, I do. Did I think it was a little dry? Sure, but I don't need to tell her that. So anyway, now I'm chopping these onions. They can be the thing that take forever. The beautiful part about chopping an onion is it definitely requires presence. There's no talking. What you're gonna do with your half onion is dice this up, and if there's something you wanna bring up to your boyfriend, this would be the time because the tears start coming out. So if you need him to do something, you just like chop, chop, chop.
Everything's fine.
Anyway, so my onion I like a little bit more finely chopped because they do add so much flavor that you don't really need like a whole mess. So after we chop this onion, we're going to also put it away for a hot second. If you have some garlic, I would pop that out right now. I highly suggest going to Trader Joe's. They sell a frozen garlic. It's a crushed garlic, clove, that comes in a cube. Super easy for cooking if you're someone who cooks all the time. I like to use 2 cloves because I love garlic. I'm going to use my one-stop shop of a pan. So we're gonna put that on a medium heat. Just wanna let it heat up for a few minutes. That's like more than a couple and over 4. Just wanna get your pan hot, and then we're going to take some olive oil. And then I wait for this pan to get like slightly warm, and then I put the olive oil. It's a nice little amount. So I'm gonna take the garlic, I'm gonna put that in here, and then I'm gonna take my onions. Now that my garlic is kind of like sizzling, I'm gonna add my half onion. Saute this for like a few minutes. So I'm just gonna move that around. That seems really nice, and I'm going to add the peppers now. I'm gonna add a little bit of sal y pimienta. And then, so we're gonna let that cook 3 more minutes. Now also this pan is really helpful because I don't need to cook things longer than 5 minutes because of the heat being so even. I could cover it to cook more, but I don't want it to get too soggy. And one of my favorite things to do is when I'm cooking is like eating and snacking. Anyway, so I'm opening up the tomato sauce just to be ready because next we're actually going to put in the meat. And it's thawed, it's like at room temperature, which is really helpful as it cooks. And then you're gonna break it up and mix that around. And you could use other peppers, it just does change the flavor of this dish. The green pepper is really more of the sort of Latin thing. So I'm just gonna move this around. This is when I wish I could go like snap, and then it all just breaks up and it turns into the ground beef that we all know that's like that you put in your tacos and all that kind of stuff. Next, I'm going to take, I have here a sort of fajita mix, which I made a while ago. Google fajita mix and I'm sure it's exactly what I made here. I don't put too much because it could be a little overboard with sodium and I don't want it to overpower with the tomato sauce. So I just do a little mix of that. So we're just gonna move that in a little bit more. Boop, boop. I think I made this for my mom once in Miami and she was like, ooh, that's really good. Like she was even impressed, as she should be, because it was very, very good and well made. And I mean, it's just also super easy. It's just like, as long as you follow these simple directions and you get your flavoring right, you really can't go wrong. Now, we're going to take my tomato sauce and I'm gonna throw this in here. And because the medium heat, we're gonna let this simmer for like 7 minutes, maybe even 10. I put the whole can, because usually I do like to let this simmer for a while and then, you know, the sauce evaporates. And we'll let this heat and simmer. So guys, I put the top on that. You can let that simmer for as long as you want, but because I'm gonna add black beans to it, which I also don't want to overcook and have them get mushy, as soon as I open this, they're going in and then I'm gonna cover again for a few minutos. So most cans of beans come with a lot of water. So we're just gonna get rid of this water. So I'm going to take the top off and now I'm going to add my black beans. I should state for the record, a traditional picadillo, you don't have to add black beans, but I like to because I like the extra fiber and protein. I'm going to lower the flame, mix this up. If you wanted to, you could do a one-stop shop situation where you put in half a cup of rice, brown rice, rinse and drain. Just because of this pan, I would do like 1.5 cups of water and cover and let that simmer, and then the rice cooks in the sauce and water and it becomes this beautiful fake paella thing. That's if you're feeling fancy and if you have 25 minutes for it to cook. So I'm going to cover this and we're going to let that simmer now for like 7 minutes, and I will see you guys in like 2 seconds. So we'll just take a little pause. Maybe I'll just like do the cleanup, because the cleanup's important. I like that when something simmers, that means the flavor is just gonna really get turned up, and it gives me the opportunity to do a cleanup, because there's nothing worse than doing a full thing of cooking, especially for you and your partner, and then having to clean it up all by yourself. So I've heard happens, you know what I mean? In this house, it's better. It's better here. Also, another note, remember where your trash is. Very important. Throwing away things.
You don't care about it, but the guys I've seen before, when I lead you to the dance
Woo!
floor.
I have been talking. God, hosting is no joke. I'm gonna check on this because it seems like it's time and I'm hungry and I know Chris is hungry, so we're just going to hop to it.
Wow, that does look really good. All right, here we go.
Don't lie.
Wow.
That's very good. Wow, that's very good. Oh wow, that's really good. Now I'm going to add a slight amount of red pepper because I enjoy a little bit of spice. You can also add a jalapeno pepper to this if you're feeling sexy. So what I think I'm going to do for us is do this in a bowl with some corn tortillas, and that will be the meal. That is how you make picadillo. But I want to say to all the mothers out there, especially my Latin mothers, nosotros los amo, and this one's for you, Mom.
We love you guys, and remember to focus on your blooming.
Like I'm focusing on my cooking.
Bye.
It's a little dicey. LOL, see what I did there? And as Oprah said, that's good. And then that's it. And it's not long enough, you know, like it feels like it's gonna fall off. Oh, it's a photo moment?
Boomerang. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
I always just do things with my face. I don't know what that was.
She did say she's seen some of our TikToks.
She did, and she was like, you talk too much. She's a senior citizen, and so she is what we like to call high risk. So am I. Oh, Chris laughed at that. She would say, I'm proud of you, Shelby. Let's open up a can of beans. Hey, how's it going? Nothing, just draining my beans.
We love you.
That is what we call
A blooper.
great. Did we get it?